How y'all doing? This is Goodson Guitars, first video. I posted up that we were going to do a video on refinishing, and then I got some parts in on a small job I'm going to do. We're going to make some custom knobs. These are for Jason Lerma, the lead guitar player for Aaron Watson. Basically what we're going to do is we're going to take a standard barrel knob, got a flat top, and then we're going to take a pin. I don't know if you can see that, state of Texas seal. And we're going to put the two together and make a custom knob. The process for this is going to be drill a small hole through the center of this knob, and then we're going to clean this up a little bit to where I get a flush fit. And then a little bit of epoxy, let them sit, and they'll be good to go. This will be the second set that I've made. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is the knobs say they're 3/4 of an inch, and the pins say that they're 3/4 of an inch, but I'm going to check that way I know exactly what I'm dealing with. And this knob is 3/4, so we're good to go there. So let's check the pin. The pin is actually 27/32. So we're just a little big, so that's going to have to come down. How I plan on doing that is once I have the knob and then I have the pin mated, then I will chuck the knob using a rod going through the hole into the drill press, and then I'll use a file, and then I'll file this down as it's spinning in the drill until it's flush. And there's some techniques that we can use to not get into the chrome plating or anything like that. I apologize. This is my first video, so you know it's not going to be perfect, but I hope you get the idea. We're going to get our measurements down one more time, find the center. There actually is a trick to this. If you take and if you look, there's a little divot down in the middle of that, and that will usually center the bit. And so what I'm going to do is drill that hole from in here instead of trying to drill it from up here. And that usually gets me dead center. And so that's going to be the first thing we're going to do. We're going to wrap this with tape. And then I'll use a pair of channel locks to hold on to it, the tapes to keep it from marring. And then we'll drill that hole. Alright, so we got our bolt or knob. And it's been wrapped double with tape. We're going to place it inside here so we can hold on to it. We'll keep our fingers out of the way because we want to be safe. And we're going to place it on the drill press. And then we'll go down. And you can feel that divot in there. And if we go slow, then you're going to be able to feel that bit move and make any small adjustments, and I can kind of see down in there, so we'll be all right. Check it, make sure we're in the right spot. We're through. Let that stop spinning. It actually got away from me a little bit. But there we go. It's pretty well centered. We'll get the next one set up and then we'll go again. Okay, number 2 is ready to go. It's going to be the same process. We'll get in here and feel around a little bit until we find it. It should be about right there. And we're on center. So we will move on to the next phase. Okay, the next procedure is the counter bore this small hole so we can account for how the pin is attached. It has this little spot right here. It's not focusing on me. That's how it's attached, so we're going to have to compensate for that. How we're going to do that is we got this bit right here, and we're going to chuck it up, and then we're going to clean that hole, push it back a little bit, that way everything fits in there. One of the things I'm going to show you, I learned a trick. I've heard machinists do it. I learned it from Dan Earlywine at Stu Mac, that you always want to tighten all three sides of the chuck. That way you get good pressure and it'll turn true. Just want to get them snug if you do it that way. So we're good. We're ready to make this hole a little bit bigger. My pliers, we've already got them wrapped in tape so we don't mar our finish. Once we get it lined up, do a little test fit real quick. Alright, now we're sitting flat and flush. Everything's good. So we'll move on to the next one. And now that I've seen this one, I got a better idea how deep we need to go with it. Check it. We're flat and flush. So now all we got to do is mix up some epoxy, glue these in, and let them sit, and then we'll finish them up. Alright, so what we're going to do now is put the epoxy in. We're going to scuff up the tops a little bit, help give it a little better bite. We're going to scuff up here and here. I'm just using standard DEFCON home epoxy 5-minute. It does the trick. Got a little modified stick that I'm going to use to put it where I want it, because I want to try to limit the amount of squeeze out that I get. That way I don't have to try to clean it up later. If you're doing this on a black knob, I recommend using black epoxy. It blends in really good. That's what I did on the last set. And I'm going to use the card that they came on to mix the epoxy. So we'll just scuff these up just a little bit to give it a little bit of bite. And we'll work this around here, do the same thing. Equal parts. The more you do this, the less you have to guess, but it's not going to take much epoxy. So we're going to do about the size of a peanut of both sides, and then stir this stuff up. And then what we'll do is a little dab will do you. Just put a little bit on here, like so. Actually, I want to get a little bit of that off because squeeze out can be a bad thing. And I'm going to place this on here. And then what I do is I feel, make sure everything's centered. I touch. Then I'm going to grab a little clamp and clamp them. And we'll set it right there for a minute. I got some working time. I'm going to do the same thing, a little bit of epoxy. And then we're going to throw this one on here. Rotate it around a little bit. Feel for evenness. Alright, we'll set that to the side. I do want to give a shout out to a friend of mine up in Canada, Ken Francis Guitars. I got this idea. He was putting Canadian pennies on top of his knob, so I went the Texas route. But if you get a chance, y'all look him up. He does real fine work. Alright, so I went in and let these sit overnight, and we're back the next day, and we've got the State of Texas seal on top of a knob. Now what we got to do is grind this down and make it flush. We're going to start that out with some really aggressive sandpaper, and then we'll progressively work up smoother and smoother and buff it back out. We got the edge ground down. I edited out me doing a lot of it because it was boring as hell. So now we're going to chuck it up into the drill press and smooth this back out and make her shiny. We got it chucked up. I got some 220, 320, and then we've got 600, 800 polishers, and then I got some 1500, and then I got some steel wool, and we're going to use all of these to bring this back to a shine right here. I'm going to wear a glove for this part, that way I don't lose a finger. Here we go. I'm going to stop after each grit to see if I got any scratches left over from the previous, and I don't, so we'll move to the 320. Another reason for the glove is it gets hot. So I'm going to stop now and see where we're at. Alright, we're getting shinier. So we're going to move up to the next grit, which I believe is going to be 600. Okay, and we're going to move up again. $1,000. Check it. And we're going to go with the 1500. And we have a little steel wool. Take it out and see what it looks like. There we go. Alright, so we got them done. It was a fairly simple process. It doesn't take too long. It's probably something you can knock out in a couple hours if you're not shooting a video. But the final product is barrel knob, State of Texas seal, custom knob. These are going out to Jason. I'll get them out to you, buddy, as soon as possible. I think y'all are coming to town in a week or so, so I may wait and just come see you myself. But thanks again for watching. Subscribe and like. Next time we're going to be doing a refinish on a Les Paul. And I think the series after that, we're going to build a Bajo Quinto from the ground up. So y'all stay tuned. Thanks for watching.